Oh, hi everyone. This is a video I've been wanting to do for a really long time now, and I think this is the stage where I need to sort of put out my feelings about shooting with Pentax and being a Pentax photographer. There's a lot of stuff going on at the moment now. You know, it's been 4 years since Pentax released the K1, and people are talking about what's going to come out. There's a new flagship APS-C that's due to come out soon, and people are thinking whether, you know, a new full frame is going to come out. Why hasn't a mirrorless come out yet? There's a lot of people talking about a lot of stuff, and a lot of people that are frustrated, a lot of people that are anxious, people that can't wait for a new model to come out. And there's people like me who are being patient, because for me, I've got the best setup I can possibly have as a landscape photographer here, so I'm in no hurry to get anything new. What I wanted to talk about today was a question that comes up all the time. People are always asking me on social media and when I'm out on field, why do you shoot Pentax? I brought it up on a recent podcast I did with David Johnson on the Landscape Photography Show, and I briefly went over it, but I thought that I should go into things in a little bit more detail and tell people why I shoot Pentax. So, going back to the beginning, I've been shooting landscapes since 2002, so we're talking about 18 years now. Here is the first camera I picked up. This is a Pentax K1000. It was a brilliant camera when it came out at the time. People in university, even during the 80s and 90s, were using this as the camera to actually learn how to take photography. It was just an amazing camera to use, and it's one of those cameras that's going to stand out in time for a very, very good reason. That's where I started off. I then moved on to another film camera, which was an MZ, great little camera at the time. And then digital came out. There was the ISD. I did move into the ISD when it came out in 2006. I believe it was I think 2006. I could be wrong about that. I kind of waited off. And then all of a sudden the K10 came out. It won the TEPA Awards. And I thought, this is a good time to go digital, to get into it. So I ran into it. I got a K10. I had so much fun with that camera. I learned how to take digital photography in a very discreet manner. I kept to myself. I kept the images to myself. I wasn't on social media. Anyway, I don't want to bore you about the whole entire history, but I moved forward with other models. And then, about 5 years ago, I was getting damn good. Well, I thought I was getting damn good at landscape photography, and I needed better stuff. And to be honest, I was going to leave Pentax because I didn't think that anything else was going to happen. I had a K5, there was the K3, which I probably could have gotten, but I wanted a full frame. I wanted a full frame sensor, and I was about to switch over to Nikon. And then I heard voices about this. This camera here is the best landscape camera on the market, and I'm going to tell you why. When I heard that this was going to come out, I started up a Pentax full frame group on Facebook, and it was exciting. You know, more than 4,000 members on there, all talking about what's going to be in the camera, all that sort of stuff. There were leaks and everything, and I thought, look, stick with Pentax, Matt. You've always used them. You know the interface. You know the lenses. Stay with them. And a year later, bang, it came out. I was one of the first ones in Europe to get my hands on it, and I was just blown away by the results. And still, 4 years later today, I am still blown away by how good this camera is. So, not to bore you too much into the history now, I'm going to tell you why this camera, for me, still today in 2020, is still the best camera for landscape photography in my mind. So, basically, this camera is, as we know, it is a 36 megapixel full frame sensor camera. I don't want to go too much into the standard technical part of it, but I want to tell you why I think this is the best camera for landscape photography. Number one, you've got user functions up there, okay? That's step one. The user functions are amazing because I can set a user function in for handheld photography when I'm using a telephoto lens, when I need to get a quick snapshot of wildlife or something. So that's user function one, brilliant for handheld. Another user function that I use is for basic landscape on a tripod. So in that, I've automatically got my live view settings in there. It's set in at 100 because I always shoot at ISO 100. And it's basically, I've got the shake reduction off. Obviously, because you're on a tripod, you don't want to increase any vibrations that can travel through the tripod. And many settings that I use in that second user function. The third user function I've got is bulb. If I'm going to do any long exposures at night time or whatever, but I rarely use that. And then another function is for pixel shift, so for macro photography and those type of things. So I've got those functions set into the camera. When I'm out on field, bang, I put my user function on it. I don't waste time, I'm straight in there. That is one amazing function that is in there. The second one is shake reduction. We know about shake reduction. I don't use it on a tripod, obviously, but for my handheld shots I do. And to have shake reduction built into a camera body is an incredible thing. Why is it an incredible thing? I can go and use old lenses and I can get the best out of those old lenses. With the new lenses, we know that we don't have shake reduction built into these DFA lenses. So, because the motor is not built into the lens, they can then concentrate more on the optics. So, in turn, for me, you get better quality lenses. And that's why Pentax lenses are so damn good. These latest series of DFA lenses. The next thing that I love about this camera is that. We all know about that, we've all seen it. The tilt shift screen. Why is it so good for me? Because if I've got my tripod low down onto the ground, I can put the screen up, I can look down, I'm not breaking my back. I can bend down low, I can step to the side. It's just an amazing thing to have. And it looks flimsy, it looks like it's gonna break, but that is never gonna break. It's as tough as tough. This camera's been through hell in 4 years, and that has held up so damn fine. Another function that is really good in it, like I said, is pixel shift. I don't use pixel shift resolution that often, but when I do, fantastic thing to have built into the camera. Then I've got my GPS, so I can do astro tracing, which I'm not good at and I haven't done much of, but I intend to do it one day. Having astro tracer built into this camera makes it by far the best damn night photography camera on the market, without a doubt. Next, what's something else? The light function. I've got light at the top here. I'm usually shooting at sunrise or sunset in low light. I press that light button there, all the lights come out on here, so I can see all my buttons. It's an amazing thing to have. They're tiny little dim lights everywhere. It's a brilliant thing. So good. Let's think about something else about it. Yeah, live view, brilliant. The screen's brilliant. The interface on the camera is brilliant and I'm used to it. It's like an extension of my arm. I've been using this interface for so long and it still maintains the same setup, and so I don't have to think when I'm out on field. I'm in there, I know this camera inside out. Then, when I'm out on field, when I shoot, I compose through the mirror, okay? There's so many mirrorless cameras out now and they've taken over the market, but you know what? I don't really care. I like a big chunky camera. I like to feel like a man when I'm out on field. I'm mounted on a tripod. I'm happy to carry all my gear out there. If my camera's a little bit bigger, I don't care. These mirrorless cameras, I've got huge lenses anyway, so are you really saving that much weight? I don't know. So, I compose through my eyepiece. When I'm out on field, I look around. I see what I want to take a picture of. I get my frame. Oh, that looks nice. I can see it well under a good light, under an eyepiece. From there, I then put the camera onto the tripod, go into live view, and then I recompose. I get my horizon correct, which I've got that up in my menu system. I then focus. I focus using contrast detection through live view. And I'm telling you, I don't even manual focus. I can zoom right in and manual focus, but the contrast detection, even in low light, with these DFA lenses is incredible. That's why I'm using a Pentax K1. And then the K1 Mark II came out. Better AF, higher ISO. They updated the motor system in it. They gave you an option to actually update your old camera. I got a new one because I needed a second body anyway. So 2 years later, a great way of keeping the K1, which was ahead of its time, even more ahead of its time, was releasing a K1 Mark II. Another fantastic reason to keep shooting with the Pentax K1. Then, the lenses. I got 3 lenses. And for me, this by far is the best wide angle landscape lens on the market. I've seen the Nikons, I've seen the Sonys, and I'm telling you now, the quality that comes from this lens, even though it's quite bulgy, is incredible. It's super, super, super sharp. You get sort of around f12, f14, it gets a little bit soft at the corners, but it's not an issue. It's so sharp. The colors are just beautiful. They're vibrant. I don't even need to do much in post-production just because the combination of these two out on field is just so good. Then I got the 24-70, which is the first DFA lens I bought. Great little workhorse lens, walk around lens. I had great fun using this out on field. I still use it occasionally, not as much as what I did before because I just love going super wide now. Then, this beast. This weighs, what, 2 kilos? I don't even know because I'm not a technical butt, but anyway. This is the 2.8 70 to 200 lens. Everyone knows it. It weighs a ton. But out on field, this thing is so fast, so sharp, and it is amazing 70 to 200 lens. And the intimate landscapes I've taken with this are so damn good. I love everything about this lens. These 3 DFA lenses is just a perfect combination. I don't need any other lenses. I don't need another camera right now. If another camera comes out soon, hey, I might think about getting it. But why do I need it right now when I've got such a good system? Why do I have to feel that I have to update with technology all the time? To be honest, technology hasn't gone that far in 4 years. And the stuff that's in this is still not even in other cameras. The only difference is we don't have mirrorless. But like I said, who cares about mirrorless right now? Really? Maybe there's a few out there that want to go a bit lighter, but I'm talking about me. For me, I don't need mirrorless light now. If it comes out, I'll look at it and I'll maybe think about getting it as a second camera body. I don't know. But if it doesn't, if they come out with a Mark III that is still like this with a few new functions on it, a better AF motor, maybe a new sensor, there might be new technology that no one even knows exists that the Ricoh factory are going mental about, and that's why they're keeping so quiet. But for me now, I don't need anything else. And now I'm going to show you what type of images comes out of these boys. I'm going to open you a RAW file and I'm just going to show you how good the RAW file is on this camera. Okay, so this is the image that I want everyone to see. It is a waterfall shot, as you can see, of an area that I took about an hour out of Rome. I wanted people to see this because it is an area with quite a vast dynamic range. As you can see from the histogram here, I've got my shadows pushed right over to the left-hand side and they're quite cut out of the image. But when I took this image, I knew that I would have some shadows that I wouldn't be able to get back.
especially around this area here and under here and through here. But that isn't a concern for me because I like to have shadows in a shot like this because it tends to give you a bit more depth and dimension to what the eye sees, and it comes out quite pleasant. So basically, this is the raw file. As a first impression, you can tell that the greens are very, very vibrant, beautiful, vibrant colours. I took it in automatic white balance, and it did a very good job of that. If you go in and have a look here, you can see, just going to zoom in so you can have a look and appreciate just how damn sharp this is. I focus this into the first third of the frame, as I do with a majority of my landscape images, using contrast detection in live view, like I said, and you can just see just how beautiful and sharp this is as a raw file. It's just, it's stunning. It really is. Towards the edges, they're a little bit softer, but it's really, really good. I took it at f8, ISO 100, at 15 mils, at 6 seconds, long exposure, so I can get that nice silky effect with the water. And look at that beautiful glow on that silky water there. It's a beautiful shot. I'm really, really happy with the image and the composition. But enough said about talking about that. I want to show you this shot here so you can really appreciate the Pentax K1 with a 15 to 30, what type of raw file it produces. So if we go through our Lightroom settings here, just to adjust the image, principally for raw file purposes. I generally do majority of my work in Photoshop, but this is just a Lightroom import. As I said, yeah, it is a little bit underexposed. We could probably just drag those shadows open a little bit into those dark areas that I discussed. Maybe just a little bit, just a touch, with not getting any noise evident into the image. So you can see they're just opened up a little bit. This dark area here, I prefer to maintain that the way it is. So this just goes to show you the dynamic range, how beautiful it is. Obviously, I can drag it right out, and I'm going to get a lot of noise, obviously. And then the yellows come out too, a bit too far, so it's a bit too warm dragging those shadows open. So just open them a little bit. So it's good dynamic range now. Very well balanced raw file. I'm happy with the white balance. It's done an excellent job. I did use a polarizer on this, so the greens are a little bit more saturated than they normally would be. But apart from that, it's really, really, really good. Probably only thing, I've got a hint of blues in this flow of water here, which I would get rid of in Photoshop just by making a whites 1 selection in my luminosity masks and just desaturating that a little bit and taking the blues out just to make it a bit more pleasant. But apart from that, it's a beautiful raw file. You can really, really appreciate just how great these raw files are. Sharpening, obviously, you would apply in post-production, but I'll keep that low and you can still see just how beautiful sharp it is. I tend to mask out a bit of the sharpening in areas that don't need it, like the water flow, etc., and sky if needed. Noise reduction I wouldn't touch in this instance. Just going to remove the chromatic aberration and enable profile corrections to the lens, which is done, and that just shows you guys what type of raw file you can get out of this setup.
So, you saw that raw file, okay? How vivid those raw files are, how sharp the combination of these lenses and these bodies are together, the dynamic range. I did use a CPL on that, which would have affected a little bit the vibrance, but just the quality of those raw images are brilliant. And at the end of the day, we can talk about new technologies and new things that are coming out on cameras, and there's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is what the raw files are. And the raw files are so damn good. I have that much fun bringing these raw files home, and I can do what the hell I want with them because they're so flexible. Their dynamic range in them is just massive. You can pull out the shadows, even like 5 stops without getting any noise or anything at all. Sometimes I just open up a raw file and I go, my God, I'm just going to just save it just because it's so damn good the way it is. I can't understand why people are complaining so much about Pentax lately and why other people that use other brands like, oh, you use Pentax. Go and have a look at my photos. After this video, I'm going to bring you up what I think of 10 of my best images that I've taken with the Pentax K1 and these lenses, and you'll see what I can get out of this combination. I don't go crazy on post-production too much. I tend to keep the images as real and as true to the landscape as possible, and Pentax gives me the possibility of doing that. So for me, for now, I'm not impatient. I'm not worrying about anything new coming out. I'm going to continue shooting with this setup at least for the next 3 or 4 years and still pull out unbelievable quality images. And then some new freaky technology might come out, like, 3D sensors. That might change things. I don't know. I don't know what there will be in the future. But for now, who cares? That's why I'm shooting Pentax. I hope you enjoyed this little video that I put up onto YouTube now. I'm kind of new at it. I'm not that good at it. I'm better at photography than I am at video, but I hope it was useful to you. I would appreciate if you got down and subscribed to me at the bottom of the page and help me, support videos that I want to do in the future, not just for the Pentax community, but for the landscape photography community in general. Have a great day, guys. See you. Bye.
One last thing. I forgot one last thing. One of the best features of it by far is the weather sealing. It's got like 76 or 85 or 64, I can't remember how many, weather seals in every little nook and cranny in that camera and the lens. And I shoot under the rain half the time and don't even care about the camera at all. And I'm talking about 4 years of use and abuse, and that camera still looks brand new and nothing has ever gone into it. And that's so important as a landscape photographer, is weather sealing. Because if you took a Sony out on field in the rain, it would blow up instantly. So think about that as well.